Luke opened his eyes and smiled up at her. Yeth. Maybe she didn't think he was a weird freak. She understood Fiji. At his smile, Prue beamed. She felt like she'd cracked open a particularly stubborn clam. Her finger hooked his parky's handle and tugged, popping the nipple out of his mouth. A string of drool ran down his chin and onto his bib. He blushed some more and dropped his eyes. He shifted in his wheelchair, diaper rustling. Another snap popped open. The swollen, yellowed front of the diaper bulged clearly out of his now fully open crotch. His diaper was on full display just like Fiji's. Bottoms up. Prue held the warm styrofoam to his lips, pressing him to drink. Luke opened his mouth, intending to take a small sip and see if he liked it. The funny smell hit him again. Sometimes, off-brand products were horrible. His aunt sometimes bought the imitation Cheerios that tasted like cardboard, or the wannabe Reddi-wip that left a filmy aftertaste in his mouth. Prue tilted the cup more than he expected. Instead of a small sip, he got a big gulp. It flooded his mouth faster than he could swallow. Orange liquid dribbled out the corners of his mouth and splattered his bib. He sputtered, orange sloshing down his chin before he caught up to the flow and gulped it down. Sweet and bitter mixed on his tongue. Chocolate, vanilla, and caramel underscored by paint thinner passed by his taste buds too fast for him to truly savor or be repulsed by any flavors. Too soon, not soon enough, the cup was empty. He panted, catching his breath. I'm sorry. I poured too fast, didn't I? She dabbed at his face with the dry portion of the bib. Soon as the drink hit his stomach, warmth spread throughout his body. The constant worries and doubts that nibbled away in his subconscious like maggots feasting on a corpse grew fuzzy and faded. For the first time all night, ever since he left the house with Rosie, he fully relaxed. He leaned back in his wheelchair, melting down to his bones. A comfortable fog settled in his brain, shushing his thoughts. His muscles grew slack. His diaper grew warm as he peed. Just what was in that drink? The suspicion faded, sinking down in his hazy thoughts just as soon as it bubbled up. A rubber tip prodded his lower lip. He automatically opened his mouth. A familiar nipple glided over his tongue and a plastic shield pressed against his mouth as he sucked. His tummy rumbled even lower, but he didn't mind. That's what his diaper was for. He closed his eyes, wishing his chair had a headrest. He was so warm and cozy he could fall asleep. The chilly air kissed his exposed skin, a delicious contrast to the heat radiating from his belly. After giving Lucas the pacifier, Prudence pulled up a chair and settled next to him, waiting for the alcohol to kick in. She eyed the mostly empty donation jar. No one would notice if she helped herself, but Luke would cry when he found out. And the money was for the animals. She rifled through the bags and purses Rosie and friends left behind. No valuables worth palming. By now, even his face was slack. She smiled, pleased with her handiwork at how relaxed he was. His eyes were closed, long lashes inky against his pale dull skin. His chest rose and fell softly and his parky barely moved in his mouth. So, earlier you said I look like the notorious Prudence Piper.